And it's time for full-time MMA in the evening. What is up, full-time family? We're going to cover what's been going on over the last 24 hours in the world of UFC and a little bit of Bellator as well. Hashtag get the strap. That's going to come up later. 50 Cent actually making more power moves, this time with Bellator, you know what I'm saying? But we'll cover that toward the end of the show. We're going to try and make this show a little shorter today, just a little bit, because honestly it's hot as fuck. I've been grinding all day, making the compilation, news, doing our thug thizzle. So we're going to cover the news, get in, get out, bada boom. We'll be right back tomorrow. So with that being said, let's get into the first topic of the day, which is Tony Ferguson, the former UFC interim champion, current, former, who really knows? I don't know what's happening. I'm pretty sure they took his belt away, which is kind of unfortunate. Tony Ferguson's one of the guys that's kind of getting screwed over by the business aspect of the sport. You know what I'm saying? He was a guy on a 10-11 fight winning streak himself, won an interim title fight, and then when he was injured, since Conor McGregor was kind of already the champion and he was already kind of inactive, and Khabib had to fight for a title, Iaquinta got to kind of jump up there, and the winner of Khabib versus Iaquinta got to kind of take both Conor and Tony Ferguson's belt. But you know what I'm saying? And now it's looking like we might have Khabib versus Conor McGregor. And Tony Ferguson's kind of like the odd man out. But with that being said, he still has issues with Khabib Nurmagomedov, a guy that they were now supposed to fight, I believe, 4 times now. Was this the 4th time? The 3rd? No, it would be the 4th time. They've already been scheduled to fight 3 times now, Khabib and Tony Ferguson. So in each fight, you know, they have not liked each other. They never got to settle their differences. And now Tony Ferguson's getting more toward being healed up from the injury that he sustained leading up to UFC 223. And now that he's been, you know, moving around, doing some training and whatnot, he's getting back to social media as well. And this is what he had to say to Khabib. He posted a picture of him in his fight where he won the interim title fight. And low-key looks like that's in the video game. I don't even know if that's real life. It kind of looks like a video game punch right there for Tony Ferguson. But it could actually be from the real fight since him and Tony Ferguson fought. But either way, he said, "Unblock me on IG, pussy." And he tagged Khabib Nurmagomedov. So looks like Tony Ferguson's, you know, starting to get back into fighter shape on and on, off and on social media. So that's just something interesting, an update from Tony Ferguson. As far as his injury is concerned, I've seen him on social media, like in the pool. His staples have been out for a while now. He's actually been rehabbing really well. And I wouldn't be surprised if Tony Ferguson's ready to make a return before the end of the year. I see some of the full-time family rolling in, hitting up that group chat. What is up? First in the chat, what's up? Not much. I see Webb's PK Vids in the building. And then we also got, instead of just scrolling down, let me check out the chat. We also got my dog Gabriel John in the building. He said, "Did Hendricks retire?" Yes, sir. That's another thing we're going to cover actually coming up soon. So let's get into that. But first, last night, Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series, Antonina Shevchenko, shows you how much I knew about her before last night. I thought her name was Antonia because I know some actual Antonias in real life, so it was just common for me. So Antonina Shevchenko won the main event of Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series last night, 2nd round TKO. Got to admit, man, I was a little disappointed just because I was hyped. I was like, oh, this is Valentina Shevchenko. She's about to come over here and be a straight beast. And yeah, she is with the striking, but she's going to have to round out her game. Now, to be fair, though, her pedigree of striking in Muay Thai, her level of Muay Thai is going to outclass a lot of these other girls in the UFC as far as striking is concerned. But if any girl with high-level grappling really ever gets a hold of Antonina Shevchenko, that could it'll be interesting to see. You know, I would like to see Antonina Shevchenko versus like a Jillian Robertson, because we just saw Molly McCann coming over as Cage Warriors champion, an MMA champion in another organization, and she came over and she was had more of a striking background, but she was still an MMA champion. She came over and Jillian Robertson just did whatever she could to get her to the mat, realized she didn't really have anything for her down there, so she came out in the 2nd round, even though she didn't finish her in the 1st round, said, I know what I got to do, though, get this fight to the mat. I just got to do it earlier this round. She was able to do it and get a finish. Now, last night, Antonina Shevchenko was fighting against a girl Not the highest level. I mean, a girl that you probably don't know her name. Let me check her out. Just to make a point though, she, the girl she was fighting not only wasn't a name really, it wasn't like the highest level competition, but also the girl took the fight on short notice, and the girl was still able to take down Antonina Shevchenko, and that's really where the questions came in. If the fight would have remained standing, you couldn't have really had the question. I mean, you could have, but it wouldn't have been as glaring. You would have still been like, I wonder how she is on the ground. But, she kind of gets credit or slack for being Valentina Shevchenko's sister, or she would just get the benefit of the doubt. That's what she gets. Like if we wouldn't have saw her grappling, you would have just given her the benefit of the doubt. Like, that's Valentina's sister. There's a lot of people, that are huge Valentina Shevchenko fans that are just giving her a pass and kind of, looking past the deficiencies because she is Valentina's sister. And Valentina has such a big fan base. I mean, how can you be a diehard Valentina fan and say, I don't know about her sister though? But I think if you're really unbiased watching the fight last night with Antonina Shevchenko, I mean, Michael Bisping really pointed this out as a part of the commentary crew. He was like, she's definitely going to have to work on her ground game because she's putting her hand on the mat, and that's a no-no. So, and this is where my thoughts are, if that's like something you never do, from how, you never put your hand on the mat because it's a dangerous position, they can take your arm and do whatever they want with it as far as jiu-jitsu is concerned, if that's something you're never supposed to do in jiu-jitsu and you're doing it, it makes me wonder how much you've trained jiu-jitsu. Because if you were in jiu-jitsu for years, you would know, don't put your hand on the mat. Now, I'm sure she's going to have some wrestling defense, and that's what she's going to have to rely on to keep the fight standing. She was able to, I think, defend one takedown earlier, or, throughout the fight, more than one. But before she was taken down the first time, she was only able to kind of defend one takedown. So she's going to be devastating striking, though. That's the thing. She's a girl that can even get finishes. And this isn't like it's the men's division. You know what I'm saying? It's a little less evolved as far as men's MMA. So just being that high level of a striker, she can definitely pick up some wins, especially in this division. This division is essentially just the Ultimate Fighter house with a couple girls sprinkled in that moved up and down. But as far as who's going to be able to compete with Antonina Shevchenko, she would have probably, in my mind, I mean, depending the matchup, she could have won that Ultimate Fighter season. But that could have kind of been a problem. If she would have won that Ultimate Fighter season and she was the champion, and then now, like, Valentina's coming to the division, that would have been a problem because Valentina's definitely, in my opinion, this is her division. But Antonina Shevchenko, right now, they're both in the same division. And let me look. I was looking up her opponent's name while I just got Google on the screen. Shevchenko MMA. So yeah, this is the results for Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series. She fought Jamie Lynn Niviera. Now let's look up her record. Jamie Lynn Niviera. And this is just to the point I'm making about Antonina Shevchenko. I mean, you can't doubt her striking, and you got to give her the benefit of the doubt just because she trains with, and she's Valentina's sister. But just because you're someone's brother or sister don't mean you're as good as them. I'll tell you that from personal experience. As far as growing up, and me and my brother, we both used to play games and stuff like that competitively, the competitiveness in us and stuff like that. Motherfucking, he actually went to a tournament outside of the state, like played with the real professionals for money and shit out of the state. I never did that. So just because he's going out of state and actually classified as a semi-pro doesn't mean I am. That don't mean I'm doing the same shit he's doing. So just because Valentina Shevchenko's the GOAT don't mean you're the next GOAT. Valentina Shevchenko's been fighting in MMA, and I seen someone bring this up on Coach's panel the other night, and it was a good point. If Antonina Shevchenko was able to dominate in MMA, you might think we would have heard about her a little more than by now. Valentina's been over here in the world of MMA fucking shit up. Now, in my mind, I don't know any Muay Thai fighters. Like, do you? I mean, especially mainstream, nobody keeps up with Muay Thai. So if you had an opportunity to transition to the bigger sport because of your skills, if you could succeed in the UFC, why aren't you? Are you just, comfortable in Muay Thai? If you've got these skills on the ground, if you are good on the ground, why wouldn't you want to showcase that? If you are training your wrestling and your jiu-jitsu, how is that going to help you in Muay Thai? Why would you be doing Muay Thai instead of coming to MMA like she is now? and she's already 33 years old. And this was her opponent, though. Jamie Lynn, I said 33. Yeah, she was 33 as well. But her opponent was Jamie Lynn Rivera. Before this, yeah, she was 7-3 in her pro career. So, you know, she wasn't the highest level competition. It's not like she was coming over here as a champion from another organization. She didn't even fight on the Ultimate Fighter house. You know what I'm saying? We just had a show where they got a bunch of 125-pound females, and this chick wasn't even the pick of that crop. You know what I'm saying? So she's doing her thug dizzle. She was on a 3-fight losing streak, but she was still able to come in here and show us some things about Antonina Shevchenko. So you got to imagine when you get a fighter that's been fighting in the UFC, a Jessica I, a Caitlin Shakugan, just any of these girls, or a girl with some serious grappling skills, Jillian Robertson. I just want to see how that goes, because if all you saw last night was Antonina Shevchenko's debut, if you never watched her Muay Thai fights or nothing like that, then what you saw last night was a fighter that needs to develop more ground game. Now, if you can just go off and say, yeah, but I got faith in her. She's Valentina's sister. Now, I'm fine with that. Valentina is the GOAT, but there's no guarantee that Antonina Shevchenko is going to come over here and just fuck everything up in her path. Another fight that would be kind of fun, and I don't know, I think Antonina Shevchenko would win it. Antonina Shevchenko versus Mackenzie Dern. Because Mackenzie Dern on the ground is, you know, worlds beyond a lot of people, or levels beyond a lot of people. That's really her bread and butter, her jiu-jitsu. Well, Antonina Shevchenko is standing up. That's where she's going to mess a lot of people up in the Muay Thai clinch. That's what she was doing last night. But even then, it's not like you see in MMA, Muay Thai, like everyone's just going to the Muay Thai clinch. You see it sometimes, but it's not even as prominent as back in the day when you used to see Anderson Silva using the Muay Thai clinch a lot more. Now, in 2018 MMA, the Muay Thai clinch is more rare. Now, why is that? Maybe it's because the way MMA has developed and evolved, it's just not as effective. So that's also raises a little bit of questions for Antonina. How successful can you be as just mainly Muay Thai as your style? Now, yeah, if you're going to fight some girls that don't know how to defend against Muay Thai, you're probably going to fuck their face up with knees. Bow, 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 you know. But once you fight against a fighter that either defends the Muay Thai clinch or takes you down, then what happens? And that's where I'm at with Antonina Shevchenko, but I'm rooting for her because I'm a fan of Valentina, and I know with the skills that Valentina Shevchenko possesses, if Antonina can just pick up on some of those, she'll be well off. She might not be a champion in the UFC, but she can make it to the top 5, you know, maybe with the right matchups, or if she's able to develop that grappling. But either way, I mean, this is Valentina Shevchenko's division, so I don't think she has to worry about being a champion unless she's going up to 135, which would be even worse for her grappling. I mean, if you kind of got taken down by this chick on, you know, 4 days' notice, and I believe someone said that she might have been coming up from 115 pounds, Jamie Lynn Rivera. I'm not 100% sure. Let me check her last opponent. Her last opponent's weight, 125. So she was a 125-pounder, but either way, you were taken down by a 125-pound girl on a week's notice and stuff like that, and that doesn't always matter, but still, this girl was also going through some things. But I'm just saying, if you move up to 135, you're going to have to deal with like the Sarah McMahons and the serious grapplers up there. 135, I don't think that's really going to be her spot in MMA. But maybe Valentina goes back up to 135 and lets her sister reign, you know, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm going to be watching her fight. She's a bigger name, especially now that her and Valentina are 2 of the first sisters in the UFC. That's dope, especially if you've got siblings, you know what I'm saying? So, I'm going to be watching her fights, but I'm just not going to come out here and say, "Oh, she's a world beater," you know what I'm saying? I'm more hyped on Kayla Harrison than Antonina Shevchenko. I think she's got a brighter future in MMA. I mean, in Kayla Harrison's MMA debut, she was arguably more dominant than what we just saw there. And people were talking about Kayla Harrison. Oh, yeah, but she beat up Brittany Elkins. She just beat up Jamie Lynn Rivera. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know. They're pretty much the same. I mean, her record's a little better, but Antonina Shevchenko was 5-0 already. It wasn't her MMA debut. I mean, we can just check it out. Who did Antonina Shevchenko fight in her MMA debut? Just curious. I mean, I don't know. Another girl making her debut or something. So, you know what I'm saying? So, I think with Brittany Elkins' skills in grappling, and as we know, grappling is a better base than just striking. If you come over here just as a boxer or a kickboxer and you fight a wrestler, you're probably in trouble. Now, if you come over as a wrestler and you fight somebody, you got a better chance. You know, if this was a situation of styles make fights, wrestling is usually a stronger matchup than a striker. A wrestler usually beats a striker. So even if you're not wrestling, but if you're just a judo, you know, that's closer to wrestling than Muay Thai. So you're going to be able to get people to the ground, lock up submissions, and if you're ever on your back, you've got the strength and all of that. I think Kayla Harrison, it really stands out, you know, a little more than Antonina. But I still fuck with Antonina. Shevchenko sisters in the building. But is she Valentina? I don't think so. Maybe the Valentina Muay Thai. But we'll see how she does in the UFC. She definitely earned her contract. I'm going to be watching her fights. But I'm just not saying she's a world beater. But either way, it's going to be fun. So let's see. Trey Young, get your weak ass. Oh, shit, we got some trolls in the building. Hey, where's my dog, man? I got to remod somebody. Seismic Shock. Is he in the building? Because I unmodded, like, everybody that day I got hacked just to see what was going on. Except for like 5 people that I know have been here every day. But yeah, so I got to get that back in the building. But it sounds like we got some trolls. But like I said, we're trying to get to the news and get right out of here today. It was over 100 degrees outside. We ain't got no motherfucking AC. Been working all morning from the morning till now. Got the show to do. I'm trying to go upstairs, fucking cool off after I take my dog on a walk and chill for the rest of the day, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's hot as fuck. I'm in here sweating, sitting down. It's crazy. It's crazy in here. But either way, let's see what's going on in the chat. We might have some trolls to hit with the motherfucking ban hammer if they're talking reckless. Let's see. Trey Young, get your weak ass bust. Oh, hold on. Tiffany Van Soest, what up? Hold on. Yeah, why you in here clowning Trey Young, baby drama show? Bro, you're in here typing in all caps, and I already know who you are. That's one of Stewie's other accounts. So just on the strength of you being Stewie, man, we ain't got time for that today. We don't want the caps, just from you. Anybody else, let me know. You know what's up, but we ain't dealing with Stewie today. We're not dealing with Stewie. We'll see you later, brother. What up, Reggie the Tree? Johnny C. Major said foul is going up to fight Nunes. Bullet will not leave it up to the judges. This time we'll have the answer to Nunes outstretch and will make Nunes engage. I don't know, man. I don't see her doing that anytime soon. I think right now she wants to win the 125 belt, and then maybe if she wants to go up and like for a second belt, maybe she'll do that. But I think she might even want to defend her belt. I don't think, you know what I'm saying? The division is kind of stalled up right now with Nico and her injuries and stuff. So what would it look like if, all right, now Valentina's the champion. Now let's fight Nunes again, you know, and then what happens with this brand new division? I think in my opinion, we should get some title defenses going in this division before we start talking about Valentina moving up and stuff like that. But if, God forbid, something crazy happened and Valentina Shevchenko tripped and fell and somehow Nico Montano won the fight, then maybe Valentina goes back up to make way for her sister. But other than that, I don't really see Valentina Shevchenko going back up anytime soon. And if she fought Amanda Nunes again today, I don't know. I don't think it's just as simple as that, like not leaving it up to the judges. You can't just finish Amanda Nunes because you want to. I think if she could have finished Amanda Nunes, she probably would have did it in the rematch. And that was already the fight to not leave it to the judges. You know, it's kind of like Stephen Wonderboy Thompson versus Tyron Woodley in the rematch. You already got your first opportunity. Now it's time. Don't leave it to the judges. Go and win the fight. I think they would have if they could have, but they can't, so they ain't. But with that being said, let's get back to the news because, like I said, man, I'm trying to get in and out like swimwear. So with that being said, Jessica Andrade versus Karolina Kowalkiewicz being targeted for UFC 228. I don't know about this fight, man. I like the fight because, I mean, it's cool because they're both top contenders. But I kind of feel like Jessica Andrade already earned the title shot. And even if not, I'm kind of a fan of Karolina Kowalkiewicz. I don't really see this fight going amazing for her. I mean, are people forgetting what Jessica Andrade just did to Claudia Gadelha? Karolina Kowalkiewicz is clearly just a badass. You know what I'm saying? Anyone, anywhere, any place. Karolina Kowalkiewicz does not strike me as someone that would ever turn down a fight. So if the UFC says, hey, we got Jessica Andrade, #1 contender, she's going to sign the contract. But as a fan of Karolina, I'm like, this ain't the best fight for Karolina right now in my mind. And that's why I even brought up these UFC rankings specifically for this topic. I mean, who's fighting Rose next? That's my deal. That's literally where I'm coming from. What the fuck? Maybe Rose is sitting out. Maybe she's Gotta go see the counselor from the Dolly attack. Maybe she's suing Conor McGregor. I was just listening to Joey Diaz talk about Ray Borg and Michael Chiesa and how they fucked up. You know, you might think that the fact that their fight was rescheduled, that's part of because they're planning on suing Conor McGregor. That's kind of how I was looking at it. Like, you know, that's still a loss of wages. And it still is. But if you want the big money, you couldn't have got a fight rescheduled that soon. That's what Joey Diaz was talking about. Like, if you want the big money, if you're trying to sue Conor McGregor, you shouldn't have took a fight a month later. You're supposed to act like your eyes really fucked up. And I know the moral police, they don't understand that. You know, if you don't really come from a certain environment or background, you don't understand trying to get on when you have one of these rare opportunities. Like if somebody in a rich-ass car wrecks into you and it's their fault, my neck, my back, that's just what motherfuckers do from where I'm from because they're trying to make it. And yeah, it's probably not right, but at the same time, if you're trying to get paid, that's the world we live in. You get the motherfucking lawsuits. You know how it goes. You slip on a wet sign at Walmart. What do? You sue Walmart. Is your fucking back really broke? No, but Walmart's rich as fuck, and I need that. So that's what Joey Diaz was saying. If you're trying to get paid from Conor McGregor, you fucked up, Ray Borg. You shouldn't have signed a fight a month later because now they're gonna whenever they're defending themselves, Conor McGregor's lawyers are gonna say, look, his eye wasn't that bad. He literally got booked in a fight a month later. And when they say, look at Michael Chiesa, his cut wasn't that bad. He's fighting 3 months later. You know what I'm saying? And so if you're one of the fighters that was possibly going to sue Conor McGregor, kind of, you know, fucked up in taking that fight. But Joey Diaz was like the UFC was smart as fucking giving them a fight. Because the UFC could have got sued too. He said, I would have sued everybody. I would have sued Conor McGregor. I would have sued Joe Rogan for not being there. I would have sued the UFC. Shit, I'm sure Dana White could have got a letter. He said, because out of the 5 people you sue, maybe one of them says, let's just settle this. It's not worth our time. So there was some misplays if that was the goal for any of those fighters. And he said, no, not trying to put Conor McGregor in jail. That's not what the goal is. But he just made $100 million. I'm just trying to get like 40 of it. You still got 60 million and you can go fight again. You got many more fucking $1 million fights to come. But now I got 40 million to cool with. What are you talking about? So with that being said, I don't even know how the fuck we got there from talking about Joanna on Jake. Oh yeah, Rose Namajunas. What's her next fight? Because she beat Joanna again. That's where I was like, okay, the next fight's clearly Jessica Andrade versus Rose Namajunas. We've got a champion. We've got a #1 contender. And nothing else. There's not no 2 #1 contenders. It ain't like Carolina was the next talk. You know what I'm saying? Jessica Andrade just ragdolled Claudia Gadelha. She ragdolled one of the better grapplers in the division. Before that fight, Claudia Gadelha was looked at as the best grappler in the strawweight division. But after what Jessica Andrade was able to do to the best grappler in the division, it was like, oh my. This is literally mini Cyborg. That's definitely a fight to earn you a title shot. And now Joanna Jędrzejczyk. And then the only thing that was keeping Jessica Andrade away from the title shot in my mind was the potential of a trilogy. If Joanna Jędrzejczyk would have beat Rose Namajunas, then it would have been 1-1. Then you can't get the now we have a trilogy. Sorry, Jessica Andrade. We got to settle this. It's 1-1. We have to have the 3rd fight. Then maybe you fight Carolina. But as of right now, what is Rose? I mean, maybe she got injured in training or something. I just haven't heard of what it is yet. I'm not sure why Rose Namajunas isn't going to be fighting the #1 contender right now. And I don't think it's on Rose. Maybe she's got some shit to do. She just won a rematch. Maybe she wants to spend her money now. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like Conor McGregor or Nate Diaz. I got some money. I want to spend it. And you can either wait on me. Maybe Jessica Andrade needs the money. Maybe it's like, I can't wait on Rose. I need a fucking paycheck, sweetie. So I'll just fight someone else and then fight for the title, possibly. Maybe that's what's going on. Maybe Jessica Andrade needs a paycheck. And so Rose Namajunas isn't going to be ready until whenever. Boom, got to take a fight. And Karolina Kowalkiewicz is not the type of girl to turn down in fights where she's like, I'll be your motherfucking Huckleberry. Karolina Kowalkiewicz actually fought on the same card as Donald Cowboy Cerrone when she fought Jodie Esquibel. I think that was on the Darren Till card versus Cowboy Cerrone. And, you know, that was an anywhere, anyone, any place kind of card for Karolina Kowalkiewicz. Kind of like Donald Cowboy Cerrone. And she really kind of strikes me as like that of the strawweight division. I've never seen Karolina Kowalkiewicz duck in a fade. And the fact that you're getting in there with Jessica Andrade, right now, of all times, after what she just did to Claudia, motherfucking props to Carolina, who was already one of my favorites. But I'm not picking good things to happen to Carolina in this fight. If it does, that would be amazing. That would be, for as far as what she, as a fighter, she's already one of the top 5 and former title challenger. She might have dropped Joanna in the fight one time. She still lost the fight, but either way, she's already a top 5 strawweight in the world, Karolina Kowalkiewicz. If she's able to beat Jessica Andrade after what she just did to Claudia, boom, she's definitely in line for the next title shot. So this is still a big opportunity for Karolina Kowalkiewicz. If you can beat Jessica Andrade, you just won your way into a title fight. So this is going to be a great fight now that it's happening. You know, I didn't expect it to come together, but it's going to be a great fight, and it's very likely a title eliminator. So this is going to be, I'm definitely down for this fight. My guy for Western Civilization said Rose said she was taking some time off. Okay, and maybe Jessica Andrade, you know, doesn't have the time to wait. Because I'm sure if Jessica wanted to, she could probably wait for a title fight. Probably. But she's probably ready to get another paycheck. And she's probably got a good matchup. You know, if she's probably going to be the favorite against everybody not named Rose Namajunas. Or Joanna Jędrzejczyk. So it's like, hey, I'm trying to get a payday. Go in here, fight Carolina. If I get the job done, bada boom, bada bang, I'm in there with Rose by the end of the year when she's ready to come back. That's 2 paydays. So hey, it is what it is. I'm hyped for the fight now that it's here, unexpected, but I'm happy that the fight's here. That's for sure. That being said, let's move to the next topic. We also got Jacob De La Cruz in the building. He said Andrade is low-key sexy, too. So is Carolina, dog. What you talking about? Carolina is a savage at web PK vids. Hell yeah, she is. That's what I'm saying. She's a fucking beast. And you know what I'm saying? She just sits against the cage in the beginning with her hands behind her back. That's her signature thing. You know what I'm saying? Little cutie in there. But let's move to the next topic. Someone asked me about this earlier. Former UFC champion Johny Hendricks announced his MMA retirement. This is the second UFC retirement in the matter of days. Monday, Rashad Evans retired on Ariel Helwani's MMA show, not the formal way inside the octagon, because neither one of their last fights really went their way. You know, I could imagine, in my mind, you probably don't want to retire after getting knocked out in like 58 seconds. Like, you know, your head probably still fucking hurts, and it's kind of probably embarrassing, so not the best time, but maybe they had, and they needed time to consider. You don't want to retire in the moment either, right? You don't want to retire and then regret it and come back. Like, I retired, but I'm kind of back. I didn't really mean what I said. I was kind of concussed, or whatever it is. But now we got Johny Hendricks coming out and announcing his MMA retirement. He says, I'm done. I'm retiring. I'm getting out of the MMA world. I've been thinking about this long and hard for a while. I'm going to get back to my roots. I'm going to start coaching at All Saints. I coached a little bit of high school last year, but I'm going to make the move over to All Saints and start doing those things. He continued to say, one of the things that's nice is being home the last 7 months, spending time with the kids, not worrying about what I needed to do. I looked at my wife and said, do we really want to do this? I know I'm the one who has to do it, but do we want to do it? Do we want to go through that grind that I used to do, be gone for long periods of time, put my family second, do those kinds of things? Right now, I really can't say that. I made the decision 2 weeks ago, but I prayed about it and wanted to make sure I was going to be okay with it. So, with that being said, man, Johny Hendricks, former champion, you know, former UFC welterweight champion. But, you know, he hasn't been looking great as of late. You know, the end of his career wasn't storybook ending, but he still had his day in the sport. Everybody's going to for sure remember the time where he beat up George St. Pierre and was robbed. Everybody felt like that. But also, you know, people are going to talk about USADA. That's part of the Johny Hendricks story. A lot of people, you know, after the GSP fights, GSP talks about it. You know, he didn't want to point fingers necessarily and just say, yeah, I feel like Johny Hendricks cheated to beat me. But it did say that's kind of why I left the sport back in the day, because I felt like it wasn't a level playing field. And when he left the sport, was coming off of a pretty hefty beating, some would say, by Johny Hendricks, although he got his hand raised. But still, Johny Hendricks did his thug dizzle, earned a lot of fans, and, you know, his fights, whenever he fights, people still watch. You know, whether you're watching the weigh-ins to see what happens or you're watching the actual fight to see if we get the old Johny Hendricks back, people still watch Johny Hendricks and would have still loved to see him continue his career. But he's calling it quits to continue coaching, be more of a family man, and it seems like he's comfortable with making this decision. So congratulations to Johny Hendricks, you know what I'm saying, for the career. Thank him for everything he did for us as fans, put it out there, went in the cage, even toward the end of his career when he was on a losing streak, taking the tough fights. I think he fucking fought Paulo Costa not too long ago. Like, you fucking kidding me, dog? You know what I'm saying? You're already a veteran of the sport. You know that already you ain't got nothing really left to prove, and you go in there with somebody like Paulo Costa. A lot of people ain't taking that Paulo Costa fight. Johnny, let's pull up his record. Johny Hendricks, MMA. Jacob De La Cruz says Hendricks is a cheat since it's wrestling. I don't know about his wrestling days or nothing like that, but hey, man, you know what it is, what it is. If you used to take something and you stopped when USADA came around, you stopped cheating. You know, you were playing by the guidelines. Like, well, I mean, I can't say that for a fact, but I'm saying if you're not failing your USADA test now, you're not breaking the rules, you would think. Now, some people believe people are still passing you. Yeah, his last fight was to Paulo Costa. You know, he was already, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he was 1-4 in his last 5 fights, and he took a fight with Paulo Costa, straight beast, who's going to be fighting actually at UFC 226. He's going to be taking on Uriah Hall. But Johny Hendricks is only 34 years old, so I mean, who knows? He could really be a guy that makes a retirement in the future. Maybe he gets that itch, pops up in Bellator. Who knows? That would be crazy. I'm not going to lie. If Johny Hendricks pops up in Bellator, bro, they need middleweights. They just got Machida, motherfucking Mousasi. If I'm Johny Hendricks, I mean, and you know, and it's not just that easy. Like, I want to retire and go work for Bellator. You know, it really depends on his contract situation, how many fights he had left in his contract. But if this motherfucker pops up at Bellator, Bellator got another star low-key. Now, I know Johny Hendricks wants to do whatever, you know, his thug thizzle and go back to wrestling. And I hear you, Johnny, and I'm going to let you finish it all. Bellator's right now, they got some of the greatest middleweight fights for you right now, You know what I'm saying? Mousasi versus Hendricks and Bellator. He could move up divisions. They got that going on. I mean, who was it? Chael Sonnen was talking about Paul Daly versus fucking Machida today. Scott Coker was talking about Machida versus Fedor. Like, we got some real fuckery going on over at Bellator, and I'm kind of interested in some of it. Anything that's got to do with Mousasi specifically, but mixing a little Johny Hendricks minus the USADA, sprinkle a little bada boom, we might have some motherfucking fights on our hands, full-time family. That's all I'm saying. So maybe, somehow, Johny Hendricks will be able to wriggle his way into Bellator, you know, like some other fighters, like Lyoto Machida. You know, we don't necessarily always know what's going on with how many fights they had left. Like, wasn't even aware Machida was a free agent. But motherfucker wiggled his way over into Bellator, and now hopefully Hendricks can get over there too, because that'd be a better place for him, especially if you got to motherfucking get thrown at dudes like Paulo Costa. Are you kidding me? I don't give a fuck, dog. If I know me and I know I'm not, if I know I used to be better before USADA, I'm not fighting a motherfucker that looks like he figured out how to beat USADA, and I'm still over here trying to figure out how to get my fucking, to rehydrate properly. Motherfucker, they took my syringes. I can't even rehydrate right, dog. We can't even we don't even got IVs no more. How the fuck you look like a god over there, dog? And now I gotta fight you. I remember when I used to look like that before these pesky USADA motherfuckers came around. You know what I'm saying? Fuck the noise. That's all I'm saying. But let's continue, man. Speaking of Lyoto Machida and drug testing, Lyoto Machida said that he left the UFC because of boom, drug testing. And it's got nothing to do with, oh, I want to cheat, so I'm going to Bellator. No, the thing Lyoto Machida got busted for, a lot of fighters echoed the sentiment. It was measly, and he like admitted to doing it. It wasn't even a situation like where he got caught. He was like, oh, you guys said this was banned. My bad, I took some of this. Oh, motherfucker, you're banned. Like, damn, I'm a legend of the sport. Y'all just gonna throw me out there like that? I'm fucking big Lyoto dog. I'm Lyoto Machida. Y'all just throwing me out here making me look like a cheater? You making an example out of me? That's how you feel, USADA? There's a lot of veterans of the sport that after shit changed, they're like, yo, I'm not a cheater, but these motherfuckers are too strict. What they're doing now is not cool. I'm not trying to wake up at 5 in the morning and get a USADA cup up my asshole. I'm not trying to do that, man. I'm not trying to. I get it. You want to catch the cheaters. Most cheaters, bro, test the motherfuckers that, you know what I'm saying? If you want to get rid of the cheaters, it's one thing. But if you want to come to me at 4 in the morning and if I have to fucking read the label of every aspirin, and then even if I'm being as meticulous and careful as possible, I still fail, and I don't know what's going on. And then 3 months later, you find out there's a fucking Brazilian company over in Curitiba that motherfucking is sending out the dirty supplements, because on the flip side, they're also fucking cutting up. What the fuck? Now it's not even my fault. Now I just lost, speaking for Junior Dos Santos, I just lost a fight with Francis Ngannou. I lost the opportunity. I lost a payday. Come to find out I'm fucking clean. And you think this shit is cool? You're playing with my fucking career. You're playing with my livelihood. I fucking feed my kids with these paychecks, and you took one from me. If I would have fought Francis Ngannou and won, I could have been fighting for my title back. That's my fucking kids' tuition. USADA, you guys not see what you're fucking me over here? You know what I'm saying? And what, a lot of the fighters can't even really fight the shit. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? What the fuck are you going to do? You know what I'm saying? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to get my fucking happy ass over to Bellator. That's exactly what I'm going to do. See ya. And Lyoto's one of the guys. Hey, motherfucker. Josh Barnett, he doesn't trust USADA. He's possibly going on over to Bellator. But this is what Lyoto had to say. He said he's older. Well, it says Bellator champ. This says the Bellator champ. So I think this is Gegard Mousasi. See, Gegard Mousasi thought Lyoto Machida was on PEDs. He 100% in their first fight. That's why he's open to the rematch. He said 100% Lyoto was on PEDs in their first fight. So Gegard Mousasi was skeptical of Machida, and some other people might be, but there's still some situations where fighters are still not super happy with USADA. And it is kind of interesting. A lot of the fighters that aren't happy with USADA have kind of had sketchy past. Some of them, not all of them. But there's some fighters that legit just believe USADA's too strict. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, but they are doing a good job of cleaning up the sport, even if it might be too strict. You can imagine if someone's being too strict, they're finding a lot of, they're doing a lot of good work too. It's not all bad. There are a lot of fighters that look different now that USADA's around. So, does the bad outweigh the good? That's the question ultimately for the UFC fighters. If you think USADA is hurting more than helping, you might find your way to Bellator. But if you're like, fuck that, I like what USADA's doing. I like the strictness. I don't give a fuck. Come in my house at 3 in the morning. And if you come back at 5, I understand. You're trying to bust these cheaters. There's some fighters that are kind of happy with what's going on, so they'll probably be happy in the UFC. But here's what Mousasi had to say about Machida. He's older and there was drug testing in the UFC, but if I fight him, he would need a lot of drug testing too. Look at his physique. I think that says enough. He's a skilled guy, no doubt about it. But when you get older, everything goes a little bit downward. Fighters, they cannot fight until 47 years old as they did before, if they're clean. It's difficult, especially against high-class fighters. They can beat a little bit lower guys, but against top competition, it's difficult when you're 41 or whatever, and to still be able physically, skill-wise, maybe. But on the highest level, small things make a big difference. He said, I think he's on a different stage now, and if he wins his debut, and he's a contender, we're 100% going to fight again. Man, this old clickbait-ass, punk-ass website, bro. It's talking about Lyoto Machida left the UFC because of drug testing. I thought he was coming out and saying that. This is fucking quoting Mousasi. But either way, everything I said still stands. There's a lot of fighters that believe they're too strict. They're fucking up some people's livelihoods. Junior Dos Santos lost his Francis Ngannou fight to be cleared. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on with USADA that some people aren't happy with. And Lyoto Machida, he's now in Bellator, and Gegard Mousasi believes it's because of the drug testing. But if they are going to fight, which is a fight fans are talking about, Machida versus Mousasi, then Mousasi's like, hey, I want high-level testing on, homie. I don't want to lose another fight to this guy. And you know what I'm saying? It be to PED. So we'll see what happens. But still, it's not like you look at the Bellator roster and see fucking Uberream. Bellator does have drug testing. Clearly, it's not as strict as the UFC, which might be a little easier to pass. Are guys 100% clean in Bellator? Probably not. But it's not like you really see Alistair, like the TRT Vitor, the guys that really used to stand out back in the day, you know, before USADA in the UFC. You don't see a lot of that running around in Bellator. Our guys fight a little longer, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Fighting heavier weight classes, possibly. Skeptical hippo eyes, sure. But I don't think motherfuckers are just running around juice to the gills. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens. But either way, man, we got some good fights potentially in the middleweight division at Bellator. So we'll move on. Speaking of Lyoto Machida, another possible rematch is a fight with Ryan Bader. Both Ryan Bader and Mousasi are interested in rematches with Lyoto Machida over at Bellator. And let's see if we can find... Yeah, here's what Ryan Bader had to say. Of course I'd like to fight him again. I respect the hell out of him, but you always want to get those losses back. I'm totally a different fighter than I was back then. And, man, if you look at Ryan Bader's record, dude's a savage, even in the UFC. Yeah, he lost, I believe, to Rumble Johnson. But other than that, fucking like 7-1 in his last 8 before coming to Bellator. Let me pull up Ryan Bader's record. Because when he lost to Machida, it was a while back. And I'm sure, just to be fair, I was about to type in Ryan Machida. To be fair, I wouldn't be surprised if Ryan Bader comes out and mentions PEDs. Gegard already opened up that door. Hey, man, when he beat me, it was the same reason. You know, like, I'm surprised. I have heard it, but, you know, some of John Jones's opponents, some of them ain't came out. Like, hey, OSP might have actually came out and said, shit, I wonder what was going on. You know what I'm saying? But look at Ryan Bader's record as of late. He lost to Lyoto Machida back in 2012, so 6 years ago. Other than that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He's won 10 out of his last 11 fights. Back in the day, you know, he lost some fights in the UFC to Glover Teixeira and Lyoto Machida. But let's see. I believe USADA came into the picture in 2015, if I'm not mistaken. So both of those fights were before USADA, whatever that means. Either way, Ryan Bader wants the fight back, and it's another fight as far as Bellator is concerned. I'll be watching. That's a big fight for Bellator. Bader versus Machida, Mousasi versus Machida, Bader versus Mousasi. I'm watching all of that shit, brother. That's all I'm saying. So with that being said, that's some more fun stuff happening. Now I think it's time to get the strap. 50 Cent, we seen him doing business with Bellator. A lot of you might know what get the strap means. Some of you might not. It's just a saying 50 Cent started running with the hashtag. Anytime somebody does something to you, hashtag get the strap. Anytime something, if Colby Covington disses Amanda Nunes, 50 Cent's going to say, Amanda Nunes, get the strap. You know, get the strap. Defend yourself. So it looks like he sold that strap, get the strap line to Bellator. He said, I did a deal today, get the strap, I sold get the strap for $1 million to Viacom's Bellator. So you will see it on some cooler clothing shortly. See how I make something out of nothing. Now this is another story of 50 Cent creating something out of nothing. I mean, we saw what he did with Vitamin Water. I mean, his music career. 50 Cent's definitely a hood entrepreneur, a guy that came from nothing. And he's shown that he's been able to become a high-level entrepreneur and make a lot of money in business. And he just did it again with something as simple as a hashtag. He started saying get the strap on some of his tweets and Instagram posts. Everyone else started saying get the strap. Now he just sold the fucking rights to get the strap for $1 million just for putting that shit together. You know, get the strap. Uh-oh, get the strap. That's like me starting off, oh, get the bat. You know, like get the baseball bat and then selling that shit for $1 million later. That's crazy. So, I mean, congrats to 50 for that. But now, thinking about that line, get the strap, I don't know how that really crosses with MMA. You know, if I'm Bellator, I'm not saying get the strap. I'm saying get the jiu-jitsu. Get the motherfucking, get trained. Put the gun down. Fight like a man. I'm saying shit like that if I'm MMA. I'm trying to promote fighting. Why the fuck am I telling someone to get the strap? You know what I'm saying? I don't want you to get the strap. If I'm a mixed martial artist, of course you're going to get the strap because I'll kick your ass. So why do you want fan? You know what I'm saying? No, don't get the strap. Go get you some fucking Hoist Gracie classes, man. Go get some wrestling classes. Go take some fucking taekwondo or some kickboxing. Don't get the strap, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But Bellator's about to probably get the strap on some clothing. kind of sending mixed signals. Like, dog, I want to be one of you guys. I don't want to get the strap. I'm going to need a strap to fuck with y'all, motherfucker. You know? I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. It's interesting. You not, said Western civilization for Western civilization. Hey, back in the day, I used to fuck with G, and the fuck what you talking about? You know, back in the day, 50, especially Get Rich or Die Trying, one of the most classic albums still to this day, in my opinion. You know, 50 Cent's a troll, but hey, it is what it is. I respect the troll. I respect a good troll now and then. Now, it sucks when you're getting trolled, of course, but at the same time, I kind of know where it comes from in my mind. In my mind, I feel like trolls comes from a kind of, and that's a whole another topic for another day, but to me, trolls are, I don't want to say depressed, but I think it's got something to do with the people that are kind of like fed up with bullshit. So they're, you know, they don't take shit serious. It's like, man, fuck all of this. So it's just trolling, like, you know, getting a reaction out of people. I don't know, but that's a whole nother topic for another day. That's not MMA. We'll talk about that later. Either way, get the strap. That's all I'm saying. $1 million to Bellator. 50 got it off. Maybe that's what the papers he was signing. Maybe Scott Coker was buying Get the Strap at that dinner a while back, you know. We'll see what happens. But either way, Wanderlei Silva is going to be fighting Rampage Jackson in a 4th fight. I've seen it announced, seen a couple people talking about it. I haven't talked about it myself yet. I'll talk about it more when it approaches probably. But either way, Wanderlei Silva is saying that Rampage could be his last fight, and he plans to run for Brazilian Congress. Now, Wanderlei's coming out and saying a lot of off-the-wall shit lately, and I'm just saying that because I seen a headline that says, Wanderlei Silva picked Chael Sonnen to win the heavyweight Grand Prix. I'm like, what? Who? Wanderlei picked him? Like, I mean, if anyone else picks Chael, I get it. You might think it's wrestling, whatever, I get it. Or just be a fan of Chael. But Wanderlei fucking hates Chael. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if you, I don't even see, you know what I'm saying? Like, these are literally two of the dudes, Wanderlei and Chael, that don't fucking like each other, you know? They fought in Bellator and stuff like that, but Wanderlei actually, like, recently picked Chael to win the whole heavyweight tournament, and that kind of surprised me when someone's enemy picks them to win the whole tournament. You know, you would think even if it's out of spite, I'm not picking fucking Chael. Fuck Chael. Like, I'm picking Fedor to mop him up in the next round. Hell no, he ain't winning the tournament. Chael got lucky against me. Fuck Chael. You know, if I hate Chael, I'm like, fuck that dude. I'm not picking him to win anything. You know what I'm saying? But maybe it's more of a, like, well, he was able to beat me, and I'm the best in the world. So if you can beat me, you're probably going to win the whole tournament, you know, because I'm the fucking best, and you beat me. You know, maybe it's one of those situations. But this is what Wanderlei had to say as far as running for Congress and this possibly being his last fight. Maybe this is going to be my last fight, and after I'll go the next step. I train more weights, more conditioning. I try to get hit less in my head. I know how to do it. I just need to work on my conditioning. Okay, I mean, you know, just a little bit of media and talk ahead of his potential Rampage 4 match. I don't even know what that's called. It's not a trilogy at this point. But this is their 4th time fighting, actually. Fun fight. I mean, I'll be watching just for the potential knockout. You know, it's a legend fight. And that's me as a Rampage fan, you know, the old days. Like, whenever I started watching Rampage Jackson, it's because he knocks motherfuckers out. And Rampage Jackson don't like people that try to wrestle fuck him and hump his leg. He's a guy that used to speak out against it. Like, you know, he's just going to try and hump my leg. I don't want to fight Chael Sonnen. He's going to hump my leg all day. So it's like, you know, when you can get him in there with the guy that he's got a history with, a rivalry with, or a guy that's going to stand up with him, it's always fun to watch a Rampage fight, so that's why I'll be watching this fight. But Wanderlei's, of course, a beast himself. He could fuck Rampage up. Rampage ain't just a world beater, so I mean, I'll be watching the fight. I mean, just because it's happening. I'm not super hyped. Like, can you guys believe Bellator made Rampage versus fucking Wanderlei 4? I'm not that hyped, but I'll definitely be watching the fight, though. Get the strap. That's all I'm saying. Yosa L said, Silva style, old school, good footwork, beat Wanderlei 10 out of 10. Fedor still said, get the strap, boys. Michael needs the keys. Where you about to go? I need a drink.
Fucking degrees in here. It's 7 o'clock.
I know, you should have turned the air on. I need a drink too, though. I bet, okay. Give me a drink. Like a juice or some shit. I bet, you got 4 ones? Well, here's like 2 ones. My bad, full-time family. No lie, but it's, like I said, it's hot as fuck. We're making a drink run in here. All right, so that being said, we'll continue. Wanderlei versus Rampage 4 taking place. We got Weezing 336 in the building. Rampage in his day was great. Super entertaining for sure. Rampage has hands and angles. He's slow though, says USADA. I hear what you like. You know what I'm saying? He ain't just coming. He ain't sniping motherfuckers like T. Edwards last night on Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series. But he's still doing his thug dizzle. Get me a pack of Woods, bro. Rush creams. I think he already left. Hey, get those a pack of Woods. Yeah, Russian cream? He already left, bro. I'd have had him. I got you. Jacob De La Cruz said, I heard on JRE podcast Wanderlei KO'd Forrest right before his fight with Anderson. I think I heard that rumor before as well. And, like, some of those things do happen, and it can't come out because it kind of fucks up the promotion. Like, if you know the story of Felony Charles Bennett and Wanderlei Silva and the story that he knocked out Wanderlei, part of the reason that they didn't want it out there, allegedly, is because, like, commission issues. Excuse me, but you could imagine, and even if I'm getting the stories mixed up, but that's part of the reason. If a fighter gets knocked out backstage and they're about to go fight, a commission can't let someone fight if you just got knocked out backstage. That will literally cancel the whole event. And could you imagine the event be going on, the fans already in the arena, your main event fighter gets knocked out backstage? If people find out about that, all type of bad shit can happen, because now if you know he was knocked out, it's not safe for him to walk out and fight again. If he just got concussed backstage and knocked out, he's not supposed to walk out and fight in a main event where he could possibly get knocked out again. So that's why a lot of that shit, if it does happen, if it did happen, but people get knocked out backstage, you don't hear about a lot of it, especially if it's a fighter that's still got to fight that night. But a lot of that shit probably does go on that we don't get to hear about because of, because they can't tell you. But actually, this is the last topic, it looks like, of the day. Next, all we got is Share Dog, and we were just looking at Johny Hendricks. So that's the last topic of the day, man. That weird guy said Candy Lay. Gyoza L says, that's what it means. Get the strap. Oh, belt. Strap season, taking all the belts. Okay, they're going to change the whole deal. But in my mind, everybody that knows the line, get the strap from 50 Cent, they're going to be thinking, get the strap, get the strap. But now I get it, but that's how 50 was saying it, get the strap. He wasn't talking about no goddamn go for the gold. But, okay, I see that. I see how that could work for Bellator. But either way, I'm not promoting the line, get the motherfucking strap if I'm Bellator. I mean, I guess, because the champion thing. But if you know where it came from, which maybe they just want to repurpose it. Like, no, guys, get the strap's actually a good thing. Like, get the belt. Go for the gold. Be all you can be. Like, that's definitely not what I think. Like, when I'm thinking get the strap. But, hey, man, it is what it is. Fuck it. Get the strap. But first, get some jiu-jitsu. It is what it is, man. That's it for the episode today, though. Man, we've been going for like 50 fucking minutes. I mean, we didn't even hit a full hour today. This was the first time, but like I said, it's hot as fuck, dog. And it's what, 7 p.m., man. I've been working all day. We put the compilation together. A lot of the news, got the live show, so I appreciate y'all for coming through. MMA Prediction Guru, Jacob De La Cruz, Weezing3365, Yoza L, that weird guy, and everybody else to stop by. Kevin Terry for Western Civilization, all you Maratracas in the comments, C-Level DC. I appreciate you stopping by and checking out the live stream today. So thank you guys. We will be back tomorrow, same time, same place. And yeah, man, that's it for the stream today. So yeah. See y'all tomorrow. I'm out.